but it's a learning curve for a lot of the boys, and they've got to get up to speed very quick. If not, they'll get left behind.
Are you going to highlight some of the discipline issues? I'm only thinking of perhaps Isaac Farrell getting sent to the sin bin for dissent, and I think there was a last tackle play on the Halifax line where obviously he's let tempers boil over and is conceded by possession by pushing one of the Halifax markers.
I think I will address that. He needs to have a cooler head, but the frustration of the day, the frustration of the game, frustration of losing the ruck, his game is dictated by how fast we play, and there was nothing there. So I think the frustration set in. Still not what we want at all. He needs to have a cool head. He needs to come back down to a level mindset and be able to execute and deliver on a consistent basis. So we'll have chats about that. But I think he knows. He's come up to me and he spoke to me and he knows what he needs to do. But there's a lot of other things that we've got to address as well. So it had to be this game. It's good visual for me because after this we're into Challenge Cup. You're picking your best 19. And then after that's 18-95 and then the season starts. So we needed to see the boys. The only other game we had was Bradford. And we didn't have a lot available for that. So it's a bit of a catch-22, but if I don't see them now, when am I going to see them? So that's what today was about.
I know you said you're shocked and surprised by how the scoreline blew out, but how much of a setback is this in your mind now to where you want Keighley to be going into that York game?
I don't think it's a setback. I think it's a wake-up call for a lot of the boys today. I think the boys that were sitting in the stands know what's required, and I'll make sure they do. And the coaching staff will make sure that we get up to speed very quickly. I'll take a lot from that today, but I'll also make sure that the boys understand that today was what it was. It was a run out for a lot of boys that we'd had in over pre-season. It was an audition, but they'll also know that it's not good enough.
What are your thoughts on Halifax? First kind of glimpse of them.
Halifax. They're like that all the time. They've got some really, really heavy carries. They've got some great halves. They're always there or thereabouts, aren't they? I think injuries and squad depth will probably hinder them, but if they can keep everyone fit, they're going to challenge, I believe. In all that, we didn't put a good performance in, but you can only play what's in front of you, and they did that today. They just played straight through the middle of us.
Were there any positives to take from that outing today, Jake?
Yeah, there's always positives, isn't there? It's not always negative. Ollie Whitford always seems to impress me. He's just a footy player. You got Mark, who's getting fitter and fitter and stronger, is the Mark of 2023 that we had. With Jack Miller's first game. That's good to see him back out there. And I'll go into the video and I'll see more. But there are some good things in there.
It is Salford here next week. Well documented. Keighley as a club are paying for Salford's travel expenses. What kind of a team are you expecting from Salford? Are you due any bodies back?
I don't know if that's happening anymore. It might be, I'm not too sure, depending on their injury list from Barrow. So that's still up in the air. But yeah, I'm probably expecting a few bodies back. But again, it'll probably be another, if the game goes ahead, it'll be another audition for these young boys. I wouldn't expect me to make too many changes, but they need to understand and the repetition of games to see where they are.
If that game doesn't go ahead, are you going to try and draft in another opponent, Jake? So I'm kind of thinking after today, you probably want another one before that York game in the Challenge Cup. Yeah, we will. Steve will be working hard to try and find someone else. If not, the boys will be doing something on the Saturday game related. So or the Sunday. So we've got a few things up our sleeves, but we'll
dissect this first, and then we'll readdress on Monday. I'm quite happy they're addressing it, but hopefully they can come up with an answer or a solution to it before our York game, because that would deem Brad available. So I know Steve's on with that. But yeah, the whole system didn't make sense to me, which I voiced. Brian Noble, Sam Burgess have also voiced their opinions, and we're all along the same wavelength. So I'm quite happy that they are looking at it, but I'd like it to happen quicker than it is. It shouldn't take a little, lonely little club in Keighley Cougars to bring this up. I think everyone should have known about this before. The season's just around the corner, and for every club just to find out from a post that we had, I just don't see how they really can not listen to us now.
Thank you for your time, Jake.
No worries, thank you.